Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Brigadier General Jason E. Kelly, and the Post Command Sergeant Major Philson Tavernier, welcome to the United States Army Training Center and Fort Jackson for the graduation of Companies A, B, C, D, and E from the 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, 193rd Infantry Brigade. Please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Laskowski.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we acknowledge your presence here today as we celebrate the accomplishments of the 260th Infantry Regiment's graduating soldiers. Thank you for enabling them to adapt and to overcome in the face of every task or obstacle. We are grateful for the professionalism and the discipline instilled by our drill sergeants as they took ordinary citizens from all over the nation and around the world and shaped them into the soldiers standing before us today. As these graduates conquered hardships, anxiety, and fear, they earned the right to call themselves U.S. Army soldiers, and now they are prepared to live as examples of the Army values. We ask now your blessing over them today and their future Army careers. Continue to provide them the determination to always act with integrity and personal courage. Bless also their families and friends that have gathered here. Bless our leadership and the cadre of the Scouts Out Battalion and their family members as well. We commit now this ceremony to you for your glory and for the good of our great nation, as we ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the men and women you see standing in formation before you today who have chosen to serve their country as soldiers. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and these soldiers can take great pride in their accomplishments. To the parents, families, and friends of these soldiers, Fort Jackson extends a very warm welcome and sincere welcome. We are justifiably proud of them and are truly honored that they have chosen to join our ranks. Please direct your attention to the left of the formation. The units marching today from left to right are the 282nd Army Band under the command of Chief Warrant Officer 3 Kevin Pick, graduating soldiers from Companies A and B, the Battalion Color Guard, the graduating soldiers from Companies C, D, and E. Identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeants. These dedicated non-commissioned officers form the backbone of the Army's training center system, selected based on professional competence, leadership, ability, and years of service. These men and women undergo intensive training to earn the right to wear the distinctive hat insignia. With the drill sergeant hat goes the important responsibility of molding civilian men and women into soldiers. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Melvin I. Obadako, who serves as executive officer for the 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment. He and the battalion staff are positioned on the field.
Down! Attention!
The reviewing officer for today's graduation is the commander of the 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew J. Hoperidge. On his left is First Sergeant Devon A. Smith, the battalion's senior non-commissioned officer, master trainer, and principal advisor to the commander.
Down! Present arms! Shouts out! Go Devils! Down! Order arms!
The commander of troops will now bring forward the colors and persons to be honored.
Colors! Sit down! Forward!
Competence and commitment are the hallmarks of professionalism. The soldiers and drill sergeants coming forward will be recognized for their excellence in training and duty performance and serve as examples to all.
Sir, colors of the person of the honor are present. Present the command. Guys out. Go down.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. It is appropriate for soldiers in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag. We ask that our civilian guests to remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart as our national anthem is played.
Down! Present arms! Detachment! Present arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment! Order arms! Down! Order arms! Every raise red! Awardee! Post!
Those most responsible for training of these soldiers are the drill sergeants. Hand-selected by the Department of the Army, the drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have a historic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Staff Sergeant Charlisa Fuller, will recite the drill sergeant creed. We ask that all drill sergeants, past and present, please stand for the reciting of the drill sergeant creed.
I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I will not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
Lieutenant Colonel Hopebridge and First Sergeant Smith will now present the awards. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment is Staff Sergeant Charlisa Fuller from Chicago, Illinois. The soldier leader of the cycle for Alpha Company is Specialist C.J. Smith from Fallbrook, California. The soldier of the cycle for Alpha Company is Christopher Nyum from Parksburg, Pennsylvania.
Forward, march.
The soldier leader of the cycle for Bravo Company is PV2 Edie Caldwell from Nampa, Idaho. The soldier of the cycle for Bravo Company is Private Robert Carricker from Lacey, Washington. The soldier leader of the cycle for Charlie Company is Carrie Folk from Pinnacle, North Carolina. The soldier of the cycle for Charlie Company is John Riley from Coleman, Alabama. The soldier leader of the cycle for Delta Company is Specialist Colin Michael from Lexington, Ohio. The soldier of the cycle for Delta Company is PFC Dana Lopez from Louisville, Kentucky.
Right, face. Forward, march.
The soldier leader of the cycle for Echo Company is Carrie Watson from Stockbridge, Georgia. The soldier of the cycle for Echo Company is Connor May from Bentonville, Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Hopridge.
Brigadier General Kelly, Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Tavernier, Colonel and Mrs. White, Command Sergeant Major Worth, Bishop Samuel L. Green Sr., distinguished guests, supporting staff and cadre, families, friends, present, and those that are literally tuning in from all around the world. Thank you for being here to today's ceremony, and welcome to your soldiers' graduation. Since 1917, Fort Jackson has helped forge America's warrior class as it transforms civilians into disciplined, competent, professional soldiers. In short, Fort Jackson is responsible for manufacturing tomorrow's heroes, and it produces them at a rate of more than 48,000 soldiers per year, which is more than half the Army's requirement. This is why we at Fort Jackson proudly proclaim that victory truly starts here. Today, that tradition continues as we welcome 549 of America's newest defenders of freedom into our ranks and mark their graduation from basic combat training. Throughout time, the conduct of war has changed, and it will continue to change. But through it all, the one constant that remains is people. We are a people business, and we are in the business of producing and continuing to develop the best people to be our soldiers, non-commissioned and commissioned officers. I'm very proud to be part of that, and I promise you that our future is in good hands with those that are standing on this field today. So that said, we must recognize that our present is shaped by our past. And I want to start by recognizing our veterans and our retirees. We are a free nation because of the sacrifices of the American service members who have fought for and continue to fight for our freedoms. So can all of the veterans and retirees stand and be recognized? Out on the field with your soldiers is the 282nd Army Band. We have the privilege of having one of the best bands in the Army right here on our post, and they always bring a wonderful touch of class to this ceremony. So please join me in a round of applause for the band. The next group of individuals I would like to recognize are the cadre. And most importantly, the drill sergeants that transformed your loved ones from a civilian into a soldier. Your soldiers will forget some of their peers, that some of their experiences will fade away. They most certainly will not remember my comments today, but they will remember names of their drill sergeants. NCOs like Drill Sergeant Suazo, Bull, Fuller, Serengilo, and Gunter. Years from now, they will tell you that they could not have made it through basic combat training without their drill sergeant. Drill sergeants are specially selected from across the Army and undergo rigorous training at the Drill Sergeant Academy. Daily, they display the attributes of a soldier and demonstrate the Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They have spent the last 10 weeks working hard to ensure that your soldiers made it through basic combat training with the tools to be successful at their first unit of assignment. Working alongside the drill sergeants, we have a host of company commanders and first sergeants, platoon leaders, support cadre, and staff, daily moving mountains in support of our mission. So to the families, teachers, coaches, mentors, and friends watching this ceremony today, either live or virtually, I want to thank you. Thank you for your support and your trust in us to protect your loved ones. They would not be here without you. And what an amazing group they are. The resilience this class has shown is a testament to their strength and maturity. Further, these soldiers speak to the richness and diversity that constitutes the strength of our nation since its beginning 246 years ago. The graduating soldiers who are standing on the field before you are extremely diverse. And they come from some pretty interesting jobs too. Did you know that some of these soldiers used to be a surf instructor, a sous chef, a frozen yogurt mascot, a missionary in China, and one was even an instructor for a helicopter underwater evacuation? That's pretty awesome. But now, they are artillery specialists, communication specialists, intelligence, maintainers, fuelers, cooks, supply specialists, mechanics, and many other specialties in this formation. Here's some other interesting facts about this class. The youngest is 17. The oldest, as old as I am, 41. Pretty good. They come from 49 states and territories, 8 different countries, and speak 33 different languages. Many of these soldiers in this formation have college degrees, 20 with associate degrees, 80 with bachelor's, 17 masters, and yes, 2 doctorates. On top of that, that gets a good round of applause right there. That's pretty awesome. On top of that, we have 65 soldiers who will become officers. And one and one's going to go to the dark side and become a warrant officer. So. Yet, despite their unique and diverse backgrounds, what unites them all is that each one of these soldiers has raised his or her right hand and sworn to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Soldiers, you arrived at Fort Jackson as individuals, some likely for some adventure, others out of a sense of duty, others wanting to be part of something larger than themselves, while some sought a different purpose or another direction in life. But you all answered the call to duty, and you leave as members of an Army-strong team. We are proud of you. We saw you all develop and grow strong. You need to be proud of what you have accomplished over the last 10 weeks. Remember, stay motivated, disciplined, and continue to live by the Army values 24 hours a day so that when our nation calls, you are ready. No one handed this to you. You have earned the privilege and the honor to call yourself a United States Army soldier. I wish you all the best in your future careers. And to our extended Army families, thank you again for your attendance, whether it be here in person or online, and I thank you for your tremendous support to our soldiers and to our nation. Families and friends, please continue to help and support your new soldiers. They become something different, something better than they were. They are now part of the greatest army in the world. Scouts out, no ground to give, victory!
Reapers, north!
Today's soldier is above all a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in the Army values and determined to destroy enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army Soldiers Creed embodies this commitment. To the soldiers on the field, the uniform you wear at this time is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for you by all who have gone before and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you have set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Specialist Colin Michael leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
I'm an American soldier. I'm a warrior member of the team. I serve the people of the United States and make the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I'm an expert and I'm a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I'm a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I'm an American soldier.
Please be seated.
Pass and review! Pass and review!
As you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed you to your right. 60th Infantry was organized in June 1917 at the outset of World War I from cadre furnished by the 7th U.S. Infantry. In November 1917, it was assigned to the 5th Infantry Division and underwent its baptism of fire on the Western Front. After the First World War, the 60th Infantry was inactivated in South Carolina in 1921. A generation later, in August 1940, war in Europe resulted in rapid expansion of the U.S. Army. The 60th Infantry was reactivated and assigned to the 9th Infantry Division. In 1943, during the Battle of Senjin Valley along the Tunisian-Algerian border, it was during the fanatical drive by the 60th Regiment that a captured German general's diary was to give the regiment its nickname. In a German general's account of American actions against the Germans, he wrote, "Look at those devils go," and thus the 60th Infantry Regiment became the Go Devils. On June 11, 1944, the 60th Regiment debarked at Utah Beach on the Continent Peninsula, Normandy, France. On June 12, 1944, driving hard toward the St. Colombo in France, the 2nd Battalion, 60th Regiment completely outdistanced the rest of the 9th Division. For a first time, the unit was believed to be lost, but actually the battalion had overrun the German defenses in the face of murderous fire and had cut the main highway to the northwest. Instead of withdrawing, the battalion set up a bridgehead on the Duvet River and held position for 7 hours until the rest of the division caught up with them, facilitating the cutting off of the peninsula. Due to this demonstration of rapid penetration and maneuver, the Scouts Out motto originated for the battalion. Scouts Out is the official greeting for the battalion. After service as the 2nd Battle Group, 60th Infantry, from 1958 to 1962, 3 battalions, 2 60th, 3 60th, and 5 60th Mechanized were activated at Fort Riley, Kansas, and assigned to the 9th Infantry Division for its deployment to the Republic of Vietnam in December 1966. The division was only major U.S. combat unit to conduct operations in the Mekong Delta. The 9th Infantry Division was the first to be withdrawn from Vietnam and returned to Fort Lewis, Washington in 1970, where its battalions were inactivated. Later, 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry was reactivated on October 21st, 1972 at Fort Lewis, then inactivated at Fort Lewis and relieved from assignment to the 9th Infantry Division in February 1991. The regiment was assigned to the Training and Doctrine Command on August 27, 1996, with the 2nd Battalion activated at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Passing the reviewing stand is the Commander of Troops, Major Melvin I. Obadako, and the battalion staff. The 282nd Army Band is commanded by its Chief Warrant Officer 3, Kevin Pick. The Drum Major is Staff Sergeant Robert King. Company A is commanded by Captain Terrence Ball. 1st Platoon is led by 1st Lieutenant Brianna Underwood and trained by Senior Drill Sergeant Ryan Selman. 2nd Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Benjamin Campbell and trained by Drill Sergeant Monica Washington. 3rd Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Kyle Cromer and trained by Drill Sergeant William DeValchio. 4th Platoon is led and trained by Drill Sergeant Javier Suazo. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Vanessa Pope. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed you to your right. Company B is commanded by Captain Stephen Cawthorn. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Phoenix Partain and trained by Drill Sergeant Lartisha Macy. 2nd Platoon is led by Captain Abraham Grahava and trained by Drill Sergeant Connor Cornwell. 3rd Platoon is led by Captain Mason Bokatan and trained by Senior Drill Sergeant Lawrence Tagari. Jordan Lambert. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Ronald Fuller and trained by Drill Sergeant Kimberly Williams. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Bernard Green and trained by Drill Sergeant Ofonga Brooks. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Ryan Cassio. Company D is commanded by Captain Luis Benitez. 1st Platoon is led by First Lieutenant James Scooch and trained by Drill Sergeant Kirk Smoose. Second Platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Samuel Hopton and trained by Drill Sergeant Leslie Prieto. Third Platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Diosperry Martinez and trained by Drill Sergeant Staff Sergeant Eric Imaro. Fourth Platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Janine Valencia. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Billy Joplin. Company E is commanded by Captain James D. Hagan. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Cesar Pimentel and trained by Drill Sergeant Christian Lopez. Second Platoon is led by Drill Sergeant David Pena and trained by Drill Sergeant Megan Michelle. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Shantanae Jackson and trained by Senior Drill Sergeant Clifford Glittle. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Ryan Hacker and trained by Drill Sergeant Victoria Gill. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Julio Dominguez. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Family members of awardees, please meet your soldier under the canopy to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends, please meet your soldiers on the parade field. We ask that you please remember to take all trash and personal items with you as you exit. Please enjoy the rest of your day and have a safe journey home. Victory starts here.